Welcome to the Recycle Podcast, where we discuss everyday issues from a mental health perspective. We are your hosts,
Dr. LaFanya Jones,
Dr. Rashonda Strickland,
and Dr. Nichelle Wall. Now, don't get it twisted. We're not going to be your stereotypical therapist.
What we will be is down to earth, informative, a little spicy, and vulnerable.
All right, interns, turn up the volume, grab your pen and paper. It's supervision time. As a reminder, this podcast is not meant to take the place of a relationship with a licensed mental health professional.
Welcome back to session 35, Movie Mental Breakdown, Malcolm and Marie, 2021.
Okay, so just a little disclaimer for everybody out there. If we sound slightly muffled or you hear some scratchiness in the background, it is because Dr. Jones, myself, and Dr. Wall are all in the process of recovering from COVID. And we are masked up in here today, so...
Mask on. Mask on.
So we're trying to make sure we staying safe.
And no worries, all of us are okay. Mm-hmm. We are just making sure we're being safe right now.
Yep. But we had to bring y'all to, we had been talking about this session for a whole month, and I was like,
no, we got to record
We got to record this. So,
I know.
We're here.
Because we love y'all. See what we do? Okay, so Malcolm and Marie. So we hope you guys have already seen the film. If not, you might want to pause so you don't have the spoilers.
Yes.
So you know what in the world is going on. Because this one is probably, it's a new film. So like we said before, this is something that we're all kind of experiencing together. And this movie here is... I feel like I don't think it's necessarily going to be a difficult breakdown, but because there's only one setting, really.
And two actors.
And although there are different scenes, technically, it's just one continuous
monologue.
Dialogue
argument,
between two people.
Attitude. All of the above.
All of it. And what I've seen online about this movie, you either loved it or you hated it. I don't think there was any in between when it comes to this movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I feel like, not to go too far into the movie yet, I feel like it was a great representation of toxic communication and relationships. Yes. And so for anybody saying, I heard a lot of this online, this is not how relationships go. This is not. I said, well, they obviously haven't come to a therapy session.
It's like,
yes, it is.
This type of communication is what we see a lot of times. It may not necessarily be to this level of toxicity, or it could be beyond this level of toxicity. But this is real.
Yes.
Real life. Art imitating life.
Yes. I would say the only thing that was not quite, if you want to say real, in the film was, I think, the way they spoke to each other, like the type of words that they used. They used a lot of big.
It would be a specific type of couple that would talk like this to each other.
Yeah, like they used a lot of big words a lot of like allegory and all that kind of stuff. But outside, just the dynamics that they presented to one each other, yes, for sure. I've seen many couples that have talked to each other like that.
Yeah.
Yes,
I agree.
I definitely agree.
And one of the other things that I liked about this film, I thought it was a beautiful movie. I thought the choice of black and white was a perfect choice for this film. Yes. I don't think that a color would have done justice to it.
Yes, I think it would have. To me, I think it would have taken away from the message in my perspective.
Because it was like, there's so much. It's so much to unpack. Like, it's the black and white not really being black and white. It's really a grayscale. It's the fact that she's light skinned, he's dark. It's like so many different layers upon layers upon layers. And I was like very appreciative of the visual representation, like, of the angst that they were like I'm gonna be all poetic this session. Okay,
Yeah.
it's just like okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm glad, and that one of the things I'm glad Dr. Strickland just mentioned is how she felt about the film, because I read a lot of different reviews on how people were feeling about the film, and I actually liked it.
I loved
too.
it.
Yeah, I did too.
I mean, but we are different.
True that. True. I actually liked it, and when I first watched it, I was like, oh my God, this is. Ooh, I'm just up there. I'm up there with you. What you saying now?
It is heavy, y'all. So
Yeah.
like, I don't
Trigger
recommend
warning.
you watching this until you are in a place to really watch something. That's not to shy away from like seeing the film, because it's not going to be like to the level of like for colored girls or something, seeing that level of craziness. But it's emotionally
It
harsh.
can be, it can be draining.
It is. And you know what? The thing is, when I was thinking about it, because I watched the end of it again today, and when I was thinking about it, I was like, people were talking about how exhaustive this movie was, and how, they didn't like it for whatever reasons. And I was like, to me, this was them being able to be unapologetically Black. And say what they needed to say.
All
now, granted,
parts of it.
Yes.
Yes.
And my thing is, when people, and this is just my opinion, I'm not criticizing anybody's opinion of the movie, but when people say this is exhausting, I don't like it, and blah blah blah, the thing is, to me, that's what Black people bring to conversations.
Yeah.
That's how we express ourselves. We have that energy, which is why they say that we're too much. And for me, I feel like if you're trying to tell me that I'm too much in my communication, then you need to get away from me, because I don't need to soften who I am just to make you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
That's not to say that you don't need to have boundaries, because you do got to have boundaries,
Right.
which they did not have
Right.
in the film. But just the being
The
able
energy.
to express.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing that I believe Dr. Jones is saying. That.
Oh, yeah.
And the energy, the being able to express, and the energy that they brought, because we're very expressive.
Yes. I agree with you. I had not thought about the unapologetically Black part. I mean, I didn't, let me backtrack what I was about to say. I thought about it, but not necessarily in those specific terms. Because when I was watching this film, the first time I watched it by myself. And then the second time I watched it, my spouse was with me. And that was something that we had said, like, this is very interesting to see this, how a Black couple interacts with each other. And like because they're the only two actors in this film, you get to really see the potential behind how a Black couple really kind of deals with each other. Again, we all know this is more on the toxic end of this, but
Yes.
how we speak to one another. And we'll talk about this later in the film, but I was just thinking about how they were kind of going in on the reviewer. Some of the stuff that they said, you wouldn't say that out in public.
Playing a dozen. Like they was doing all that kind of stuff. So I think people are so like flabbergasted by seeing such an overt toxic relationship that they kind of miss some of the nuances within the relationship. Because in my mind, not one time was I like, oh, this is going to end. Not one time. I was like, okay.
It was just a
what
fight.
they do. This what hours long fight. Okay. Because that's reality.
Right, because
Oh, yeah.
you think, well, and I know I'm getting ahead of what we're going to be talking about, but if you think about it, when you are having an argument, you process what somebody said, and then you like, you know what? No, I'm not finished. No,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
You continue that
Dialogue.
Internal dialogue.
yeah, even though it's just you in there. You continue all that in your head, and then you're like, oh, I should have said this. Now let me go back.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you, when we get to that tub scene,
Girl.
Man.
I was about to say, I'm about to not like Paula and what's his daddy name?
Denzel.
Denzel's son. He about to be on the level of Michael Ealy was for a few years.
I told you how my mama feel about Danny Glover.
Yes.
Yeah.
He ain't never recover.
I mean, he done played a few bad guys. I said, sir,
Yeah.
you had one. Don't
Okay.
do no more.
Right. Because this was a lot.
It
You need to
was.
have some space. Give me some room first.
I need you to
Boy.
love a black woman in your next film, sir.
Okay. Man.
Gently.
Okay. We need one of them Notebook movies.
Right? Wow. All right.
Okay. So I don't know if we're going to be able to say scenes in this movie. I tried
I did by argument.
I mean, that's the scenes, essentially.
I did by
Or the
argument.
room.
Yeah, I kind of broke it down as best I could by scene. But so it starts off with they are coming home from, I wasn't sure if this was an award show.
It was
or
a premiere.
a premiere.
Yeah.
Okay. So
We didn't say the actors.
Oh, we sure didn't. Well, there's only two. Thank God. There is Zendaya, which I have no idea what Zendaya's last name is. Cause
She just goes by Zendaya. She's one word.
One word name.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
So Zendaya and then John David Washington. And we will not reference him based off of his parent.
No,
He is
we'll
his own
reference
his
by
own
both
person.
though.
Yeah, he is his own person.
because he's big on that. He hates that everybody calls him Denzel Washington's son and never references his mother, which is Miss Paula Washington,
Yes.
because both of them are beautiful actors in their own right and beautiful
In their own
vocalists and all of that.
Absolutely. So these are the only two actors in this film. It was, I want to say, written and directed by Sam Levinson.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is a white man, ironically.
I know. I saw that on some of the like post-credit scenes. I mean, well, online.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Which I'm okay with, because I'm
I
like,
love
I
it.
need some allies.
Yeah, I love
We
it.
can't do everything. We've been trying to do everything. I need us to have some allies. So
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I appreciated it because I think he still told a raw story that was filled with emotion and didn't stereotype or like, pathology. Well, it did kind of pathologize.
It talks
but
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did appreciate that.
And also, everybody, this was the official first film of quarantine. They filmed this at the beginning of quarantine. They were the first to do it. And you see that it worked. Of course, they only had them two and then whoever was in the filming,
The production.
production and stuff like that. But they will go down in history as one of the first to do that.
That's good.
So they arrive home from the premiere and you can already see the differing dynamics between the two of them. I was like, man, I wish we would have had a snippet of the car ride on the way there, but you can see it's two totally different energies when they walk in the house.
Oh yes. Like I loved his little groove though. He done put on some James Brown and
Yes.
got his little whatever he was drinking. That his little dance groove, except for the jumping in the ceiling part. The other part, the little dance
When he
groove, he
jumped,
was
he
getting it.
scared the crap. I said, "Oh Lord,
I
where is
know.
he?" Because this house is full of
Glass.
windows and stuff. So I was like, "Oh my God,
It's a
where's he
very
going?"
mid-century modern type of house.
Very much
Exposed.
so. But I also, quick note is, when you watch this movie, there's going to be a juxtaposition between the music
Oh my
and
God.
what is going on in the scene, and they are never doing what the music is suggesting that they should be doing. It's like the polar opposite, whether it is good or bad.
I was like, whoever chose the music for this film did a phenomenal job.
Yes. Cause when they play, well, we'll get to it.
Yes. Okay, but they come in and you can see two different energies. He is on cloud nine. He just had his premiere. He feeling himself. He had to party. He'd been drinking. He is feeling good. And she is, I don't know, frustrated.
I feel frustrated when the first. And
Initially.
she's sober. That's the other thing.
Yes.
Because of,
We'll get to that.
Because of later parts.
Yes.
But you can already see, like, she coming in, she immediately going to the bathroom. Like, you know what? I'm about ready to go to bed. And I was like, he's already drunk.
Because they had the after party.
And then you go home and drink some more.
Yeah.
I was like, this is already a recipe for a disaster
yes.
in the making.
Yeah. And one of the things I had to pause it and talk to my fiance about this because he had the music blasting and he yelled, "Baby, you look good tonight." We had a whole ride home together.
You ain't say that?
You didn't say that. And so I told my significant other, I said, let me tell you something. I said, do not do that. if I need, because at that point when you have to yell it at me, it takes out the substance for me. Because now you just saying it like, yeah, I know you in a good mood, cool. All right, you celebrating. All right, we had a whole car ride home. You could have told me that then.
It's the ignoring his partner for me.
I was like, did you tell her before y'all left?
Right.
But I mean, we're going to unpack that and we're going to find that there is a lot that Marie does for Malcolm that goes without
unnoticed
any recognition. Like, and that is something that you often see in traditional relationships. And I will honestly say in this particular movie, they had a very traditional relationship because she's essentially a kept woman.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not saying she ain't bringing a lot to the table, because we find out later that she really did bring a lot to the table, because that's not the original picture that was being painted.
Right.
So
she comes out the bathroom and proceeds to start making him some macaroni and cheese.
because he want this nasty.
Kraft Blue Box Blues.
but
Do you want salted butter?
I know.
Salted. I said, I ain't never even thought of that.
right.
Me neither.
To ask that, I'm just putting the butter in there.
I'm like, which type of noodles do you want so I can make it
Right.
from scratch?
Right.
Okay.
And the cheese and
You want that Asiago? You want the cavatappi noodles? You want it vegan or you want it
Yes.
full-fledged?
yes.
So
and he's still oblivious to the fact that something is wrong with her.
completely oblivious. I mean, he's kissing all on her. And I said, baby, that face right there that she was making, I said, anybody that's ever been in a long-term relationship, there are going to be moments where you do not want to be intimate with your partner. It just is what it is. And every person has made that face at one point in time.
He was not reading the room, her body, her face,
nothing.
No.
But now what I will say, John David, don't you ever bite her booty like that again. Because I was like, wait, I can't focus. I done lost. I was like, this man is touching her body.
Yeah, like for real.
I wasn't expecting this. I said, oh, this little Zendaya. What's the baby name?
Zendaya.
I was like, oh. But I was like, get it, girl, because I love her as an actress. Like, she's really doing
beautiful.
her thing.
Yeah, she's good.
Because there is some controversy around this movie because
About
she's
their
a
age
younger.
difference, yeah.
Well, I said, okay, if this was a white girl, it wouldn't be no problem. Because how many young white girls are in movies?
Bridgerton.
With older.
Girl,
a lot older.
I had to, well.
Prime example, I know this is off topic. Prime example is the Scarlet Witch in the MCU. That is the Olsen twins' baby sister,
Wow.
and she dating in the movie this old actor.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he's not a real person, but you get what I'm saying.
But he's way older
old.
than her in context.
So I was like,
Yeah, I
don't do
didn't
that.
understand the controversy around this movie
They're
surrounding
acting.
My thing is she's an adult.
that was my thing.
She's an adult.
and
Even
not
if she
only
wasn't, she has parents that
Consent.
be
Yeah.
on top of her through her whole career for once.
and my thing is, not only is she an adult, it's not like she's a barely legal adult.
Right.
You know,
She
if
grown.
Right. Like if she was 18, because I think he's 36 in real life.
Yeah.
And I was like, if she was 18, I'd be like, ugh. I
She
mean, it makes me
mid-20s.
uncomfortable. But she's in her mid 20s. So
And she not new to this. Like,
Right.
y'all, she been acting since she was a baby.
yeah, I just didn't understand it.
Right. And the thing is, it's not even like they even had sex.
They
Right.
did nothing inappropriate for a relationship.
Right.
Nothing.
She gave willingly of her body. He was giving willingly of his body. And they still, even though it was more the intensity that they were giving than really what they were doing, nothing was inappropriate.
Right.
We didn't
Right.
get into no BDSM. We didn't get
Nothing.
into none of that.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't understand it either.
Yeah.
But he is trying to, tap that. And she is like,
Yeah. Her facial expression is not happy.
no.
She's sick of him and everything. Because he's ranting about, well, he's first happy. But in the midst of his happiness, he starts going on and on about elitism and racism and all this kind of stuff, not realizing that in the midst of the argument, he is also embodying
all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this man is so oblivious.
I was like, this, if he get any more narcissistic, I'm not going to make it. This is the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And the one of the other parts that I found disturbing to my soul is the fact that he said that he created a film that knocked them off their feet. And he started identifying all of these white people that gave him praise for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, the thing that irks me about black people is that we don't feel like we have arrived until white people say, oh, it was great. It was
validation.
Yeah, you need validation from white people.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't feel like we need my thing is, when you create something, you stepped out to create it. I don't care if it was a scarf. I don't care if it was a mask. You did it. So regardless of whether or not you get validation from anybody, you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, the point of it is for people to like it, but the thing is, it does not have to be a be all when white people say, "Oh, you gave you that validation."
Mm-hmm. True, but we live in a very, we all know this. We live in a very supremacist society, so everything is that's the standard that everything is based off of.
Yeah.
And I get that, but we need to change that.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got to think
100% agree.
Oscars, Emmys, like all these types of awards and stuff have been around for a minute. And we just now starting to dismantle a lot of these things in the last 5 years. It's 2021.
Yeah.
No,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
ladies are
Like,
saying
it's
some
just-
great points.
It's just crazy, But
Yeah.
Also there is this thing where, and I'm not bashing nobody because I got 6 beautiful black men that are brothers to me, biological brothers. But there is this thing where you see that black men do need to feel validated by white people. And you see that the main person that he always wanted to be validated by was this particular white woman,
the LA Times reporter.
in their circles or whatever. Now he done bash or talk crazy about it, but he still desires
That appropriate review.
response and review. And so you do see that. You see how like his girl is over here like, you fine. Ain't it, like, calm down. Like, she gave you a good review. Like, why are you?
And you still trying to like tear it down.
Well, this was even before he even got the review.
Yes.
Oh, true.
This is
Oh,
before.
that's right.
We skipping, y'all.
Yeah,
we told
yeah.
you it was going to be back and
Because
forth.
this movie is a hot mess. Everything kind of, it's a beautiful hot mess. Let me
Yeah.
say that. But it all kind of intertwines and weaves together. So please forgive us if there is going to be some jumping around. If you've seen the film, then you'll understand kind of why we may be doing that. Because they also throw back to earlier points in the movie, which is just kind of how people argue. You throw, you know, why you bringing up old stuff?
Right.
That's just how we do.
Right.
But I can appreciate in that opening scene with her cooking the Kraft mac and cheese and stuff, there's still a level of her. She pissed off and she's not communicating why she's pissed off yet. But I can appreciate the fact that she is trying to hold him accountable without messing his night up.
I wrote that in my notes. I said she tried. She was like, look, I don't want to talk about this right now.
And that's what I was going to bring that.
Because
when we got
you
to
don't
that
know how to
point.
de-escalate.
Exactly.
And I said,
exactly.
I was like, dude, she literally not even 10 seconds ago said you don't know how to de-escalate, and then turned around and immediately started escalating.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you can tell that there are two different types of arguers. He want to get into it right now and talk for 500 hours and not say nothing. And then she's somebody that want to wait until everybody has simmered down and not probably say everything that she needs to say. So neither one of them are completely correct in their styles, but you do have to mesh them together.
Because one of the things that I didn't appreciate about her is that she kept saying nothing was wrong.
True.
But then,
Which is wrong.
Right. Which is wrong. So, one of the things that I said about that was that at least if she would have said, there is some things that I need to talk to you about tonight, but I don't want to discuss it right now because I want you to have your celebratory night, or however she needed to word it in a healthy way, then I think maybe he would not have escalated like Dr. Strickland was saying.
I think he would have escalated.
Because
he was already on that brown liquor. You know what I mean? So
That's true.
And he started pressuring.
Yes.
Because he was like, well, I don't want to talk about. No, what is it? What is
That
it?
ain't what you want, Malcolm.
And
Right.
then and then he started saying, "Well, you're angry," like telling her what she was feeling.
yeah.
Oh,
That
y'all
was-
know that's a pet peeve.
Well,
you're angry.
He went
You're angry.
down. He read her.
Yes.
For filth. Called her crazy, psychotic,
Yeah.
unstable. He was baiting her to make her go where he wanted her to go.
Mm-hmm.
You
Well,
know,
she literally said, "You don't know how to de-escalate."
Right.
Yeah.
And she said that we're not ready for this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
and that was one of the things that I put in my notes too. Like, he pressured her to talk about something that she was not either one ready to talk about or knew that it wasn't the right time because of the night.
Yeah. And you've been drinking,
Right.
so you're not even like gonna really hear what I'm
Exactly.
saying anyway.
Anyway.
and I think sometimes people forget, like maybe the person that you're arguing with or about to argue with, they don't got their thoughts together. So it's not always about you. And I mean, like from the stance of I'm trying to protect you. No, I'm trying to figure out what it is I actually am not okay with,
Right.
so that I can properly communicate that. And so you can see the war within in each of these characters. Like they battling some stuff,
deep stuff.
junk and
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
from their past. And the weird thing about this argument initiating was what we were talking about previously, is her not being seen and being ignored, or
Yeah.
him not noticing something. And then we come find out that that's really what happened, because he kind of just has not given her just due in this whole situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that the first argument. I mean, now granted they were kind of banting back and forth, but the first argument was started about her being angry about Taylor.
Oh yeah, because he called her no,
Meek.
yes, meek. That's what it was. I was like, what was the word? He called her meek. Which I was like, what? And then, but then later on, he said, I can't remember. Was this at this moment or was this later? I have to look at my note. Oh, it's a little bit later when he said, I didn't cheat on you. And I was like, where did that come from? I was like, how you just you just randomly? And she was like, I didn't ask you that. Like, I didn't say that. And I'm like, he makes a lot of assumptions throughout this film, like a lot of assumptions. Like you're assuming that she's angry, which, okay, you're not showing the emotional intelligence to look at the difference between the types of feelings that she could be feeling in this moment. You're telling her what she's feeling, then you're gaslighting her, saying that, she's crazy, she's psychotic, she's delusional, and all these other things that he was saying the whole time. And then you throw out, well, you're reading into a situation, and she's like, well, no, I'm not.
Yeah. And for anybody that's ever dated a black woman, if we asking a question before we start, like the conversation, we done already figured it out. Because she started it with, how do you see me? Like she started that conversation with that. And that was because she really was like, let me sit back and see if he really gonna hang himself on this situation. And because he was, whether he didn't feel like it or he just didn't have the depth in that moment, because like we had said, he has been drinking, obviously he couldn't go there. And and that's when he was like baiting her, tearing her down and things of that nature. And it was just sad. But she was in this part of that scene was saying, what is it? It's not until you're about to lose someone that you actually care about them. And that goes back to her feeling taken for granted.
Yeah. I thought one of the things I did appreciate about this film was that she calls him out throughout the entire movie.
Yes.
Like she just calls him on his BS each and every time.
Now, one of the, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Doctor.
Oh, I was saying, even though he like annihilates her with, in all these different ways, she still is like, oh, but let me tell you about you real quick. Like you're not as high and mighty as you think you are.
So one of the things that I did not like about her style of, I guess, argument is that she, like you were saying earlier, would bring stuff. This is how you always treat me. Those absolute words, like that, to me, that means that you've been holding on to this. This is like you a ticking time bomb right now. So now you about to get everything. Now that we having this, I'm gonna tell you everything. And
Well, they did say that at one point.
yeah. And that's the thing. That's how you lose. That's why we've identified them having like 10 different arguments and 5 in one argument.
Right.
Because they both do it. Yeah. They both were bringing things from past and their history, and even not only their history with each other, the history with other people into this argument.
Girl, when we get to that scene, I was like, oh, he want her to drown him. But I think also this is the part of the scene where it comes out from Marie that this movie is based off of her life as an addict.
Yeah.
And he denies it. He said this is inspired from a variety of people. And he'll say that again later in the bathtub scene. But we find out that, okay, Marie has battled with addiction and attempting suicide and just different things, depression, and just not a good life at all. And he grew up in a very wealthy and affluent family and kind of silver spooned it.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote some stuff about that when we get to that part. But what I found interesting about him, so at this part in the film, he's eating the mac and cheese that she's cooked him.
Girl.
And I was like, look at the positioning in this film all the time. He's gaslighting the F out of her in this moment. And I'm like, but look at you sitting there eating that mac and cheese like a madman.
She made for
you. The way he was stabbing that stuff in
with the unsalted butter for your cholesterol.
Okay.
And so she's still looking out for your health. And she mad.
She mad. First of all, she cooked it. Because had it been me.
I mean, first of all, it's craft. Babe, just put the water in there and mix it up. Like,
first of all, well, the thing that I thought she said she was hungry. That she hadn't eaten.
No, she said he was hungry.
But she said she hadn't eaten since 1:00.
I don't think maybe then either of them had eaten.
Maybe
but
not.
She probably wasn't hungry. I mean, she probably was over it.
Yeah, she was fuming by then.
Yeah.
Oh, I skipped on the part where he said when she was saying, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And then she said, well, I changed my mind. That's when he really started like,
how you gonna change your mind?
Yeah, you're just psychotic. And what he didn't understand was she was like, well, I was. So what I took away from that scene was she was really trying to process it and like, okay, let me just deal with it.
And protect him.
Yes. But other people started picking at the scab.
That's what I was getting. Yes.
She was saying, well, everybody was coming up to me, saying.
And Taylor coming up to her, who she already has some insecurities around anyway.
Right.
Came up to her and said whatever. I can't remember what she said. I'm not even getting ready to try to find it in my notes because I wrote it down. But Taylor said whatever she said. And that's probably when she started thinking like.
She told her, don't
read into.
Yeah, don't read into it.
Okay.
That's what I wrote because I wrote right here. Taylor said, don't read into it. And then that's when he came back with the I didn't cheat on you thing.
That guilt.
Yeah.
There probably was some cheating. I ain't gonna lie. So, not like sexual, but more like emotional cheating or whatever, because he seems to be that type of person.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a pivotal point to me as well, because what he don't realize is that she could have been fine in the premiere,
right?
And it could have, she could have just, what, this is his night. I'm not gonna even let that bother me.
Trip.
Right? But then you went to the after party and you got all of these people knowing that you his woman, and he didn't say nothing about you. And see, this is when people need to stay out of.
Thank you.
Right? They need to stay out of people's business. Shut your mouth sometimes, and leave well enough alone.
As his employee, there was no reason for you to go speak to his woman
at all.
Not at like nothing you needed to say.
Y'all not friends.
And my thing is, why you say something to her anyway? You already know she don't like you. You've already told this to Malcolm. So why you saying something to me?
Right.
See, you done got me mad. You done got me mad.
Stay in your place, Taylor.
Exactly.
Stay in your place. Yeah, but back. I'm sorry, guys. Told you we're gonna be throwing around in this movie, so just keep up, guys. But I did think that was very interesting. And I did, again, they both have very unhealthy arguing styles. But what I did like was that she came back and was like, how you going to belittle me? And you going to be talking all this mess to me and you going to sit here and eat the food that I cooked for you.
That was a lot.
Like, you got the nerve to be sitting here talking to me like
reckless.
this.
Yelling at me.
You don't want your life.
And the thing is, you got up to get some more macaroni and cheese. Why you just didn't come into the room to talk to me so that you could stop yelling at me?
Yes.
Boy.
And then denied that you got seconds.
And was angry.
Gaslighting.
Threw his tie over the whole thing.
I told you, sitting there eating it like a madman.
And anybody that know me know that I had that issue, a texture issue, and then I had that sound issue when people eating. I was like, I'm about to rip this man's teeth out his head.
Yeah, you can hear him clanking on the fork.
That hurt my teeth.
Eating.
Yes.
And wet noodles don't sound good.
They do not. I know. And I was like, she's trying to tell you how she's feeling in all of this. And I'm like, you're not hearing nothing.
Really, Marie? Really?
Yes.
Like
you
he
heard
was
nothing.
this was a prime example of when people listen to rebuttal and not listen to understand.
Exactly.
He didn't understand her to the last 20 minutes of this movie.
And that was not even the last 20. I'd say like the last 5.
I only say 20 because of the monologue that she does in the middle of the movie. And then
I think he had 2 clarity moments.
Yeah.
I do. I think he had 2 distinct clarity moments in the movie.
Yeah.
Now, also I want to say this. We not bashing only Malcolm. We bashing both of them. Because I can appreciate that Malcolm did have some great points, but his delivery was garbage every time.
Yes.
That's going to be end up being the main difference between the two of them. There were times where Marie was able to calm herself enough to speak clearly without annihilation, and that's just not really something that we get to see, unfortunately, from Malcolm.
Yeah. Because even though his volume may be low, the words that are coming out
are still attacking.
Daggers. I mean, it was just knives the whole time. And I was like, geez, dude.
Like, you can't let up a little bit. Give her a moment.
Breathe.
You chose her. Why are you with her if this is how you really feel?
Exactly.
So you with the psycho?
Right.
What does that say about you? I was going to say, what that make you? I love the psycho. Like, come on, guy. But she's trying to tell him how she feels. Because, at this point, she's telling him that he's based the movie off of her life. And what I was thinking there, he needed time to come up with what he says later.
Yes, because he was silent.
Yeah, which was because he knew it was true. All that mess you said later is because now you've been triggered and you mad at me because of the stuff she says a little bit later.
He do admit to that in the movie.
Right. But initially you didn't have nothing to say because you knew, you did base, maybe not 100%, but you based a large chunk of that movie off of this woman. Yeah. And again, she's trying to say, like, you didn't thank me. Like, you based the whole movie off of me and the struggles that I've had, and I live with you. I'm with you. I'm the person that you are around day in and day out, and you completely just were silent when it comes to me.
Put your stuff together. I do all this other kind of stuff for you. I'm here for you in whatever way you need. I help you edit the manuscripts, all that kind of stuff. And then I want to say right after that,
things calm down for a second
because they make up.
So wait a minute. So hold on. So the one part about his communication was he asked her why she was angry. She gave him the answer and then he dismissed it.
Didn't like it. How you gonna tell me about myself?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you can tell me what I'm doing to you, but you can't tell me what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he says it's a minor detail, but it wasn't see, that's how you escalate argument. Because when you tell me that what I'm saying to you that's bothering me is a minor detail, sir, I'm so about to cuss you out so hard.
Because see, that's the funny thing, because now I am about to become irrational.
Exactly.
And before then I wasn't. I was, I may have been emotional, because emotional does not equate with irrational.
Right.
No. I may have been emotional, but like you said, when you dismiss me, now I am about to become irrational.
Yeah. Random fact, because y'all know I just be having random information in my head. That correlates to how a hysterectomy got its name, because they felt that women were hysterical.
Yep.
And so the removal of the uterus, the female anatomy, is a hysterectomy.
Yep.
Because what is the earth governed by? Men. So, that just goes kind of back to that. Just because she's having an emotionally expressive response does not mean that she is hysterical or irrational. That is how she is choosing to express herself, and it does not negate the facts of what she's feeling and thinking.
Yeah. And you can't tell someone how to feel, and what they're feeling and what they're thinking is wrong.
No.
Right.
And typically people who are crazy or hysterical tend to have more hormones of testosterone than estrogen. FYI, you can research it.
Yes, think about elephants when they go into musk.
Yes.
And they start, tearing up the whatever's going on around them, and, knocking trees over. It's because they got too much testosterone flowing in their body at the moment.
Or roid rage.
Yes.
When you taking steroids and stuff like that. Or when women do get emotional in their cycle, it is because of increase of testosterone. So, the
There's a
nerds
lot.
in us. The nerds.
There's a lot. There's a lot going on here. But things do kind of...
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But then he dismisses her even more by saying that I thanked you 1,000,000 times before, and suggests that she knows he's thankful. No, but you thanked everybody else
The
verbally.
same way that he want that validation from the white lady at the LA Times, the same way that your woman wants the validation from her man when the story is about her life.
Right. But the one thing I can appreciate about that particular part of the dialogue is that he says, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I like that he identified his imperfection.
Yeah, but that's also an abuser apology.
I know.
Because there was plenty of them going around in here.
Oh, yes.
Plenty of those.
Yes.
Yes.
But I do like the fact
flaw.
that, that
True.
he identified the imperfection.
Very true. I would agree with both of the things that you ladies said.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's certain tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM.
So then they have this weird moment. Things are kind of calm and they're talking. Is this the part where she's talking? I can't remember.
Well, he talking really the whole time.
Right.
But this is the first makeup scene.
Yeah, the first
where they're
kinda...
laying, right? On the couch.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, because he's going into the rant about the review at this point.
Oh, wait a minute. So, because he do like she went outside and smoked a cigarette. He was sitting on the couch, and that's when he played William Bell. I forgot to love you.
I forgot to be a lover.
Yeah.
No, that's coming.
That's coming up.
Okay.
That's coming up.
The makeup scene is first.
Okay.
So then at this point, they're kind of talking about, she's talking about the progression of his career. She's making fun of him lightly, kind of like making the Lego movie and like that kind of thing.
How he'll change, and the quote in there that I always keep remembering is, don't push away the people that ground you.
Yes, I wrote that down too, because I was like, yes, he does
you
do that.
need them or you end up like Kanye West.
Because I was like, this is a throwback to what she said earlier when they were standing at the table, about him not caring about people, that once he knows people care about him, then he just forgets them.
Throws them away.
Well, part of all of that, for me, it was clear to me that there was other things that she needed to discuss with him about.
She wasn't finished.
Yes, because
they kept going.
Yeah, they kept going, but he apologized. Like, he apologized at the premiere to her for not thanking her. But the thing is, like, I liked his question when he asked her, well, what do you want? Because he apologized. So really is nothing else he can do but allow her to talk.
Right.
But I don't think he is not her safe space. And so I don't think she was going to be able, not saying that it's still not her responsibility, because it is, but I don't think he's safe. And really, she don't ever get to a safe place until that very last moment before they go to bed. That's the most vulnerable, that you see both of them at the same time. So
yeah. And I wonder the context of the apology at the premiere.
True. Because the one that was at the house was trash.
Right. So, since we didn't get to see that, we don't know if it was like, oh man, sorry. So the word sorry came out of your mouth, but if it's couched in all of this, like, all right, dang,
I'm just telling you I'm sorry, so you can shut up.
Yeah, you
Or
getting on my
the go.
nerves, or so I wish we could have at least had a little bit on maybe what the context of the premiere was. I appreciate that we don't, because that gives us opportunity to do stuff like this. But not knowing how he apologized, was it because some people have this idea like you don't embarrass me in public and then say sorry in private. You know, like make the apology just as a public as
the embarrassment.
Right. So how. I wish, like we said, we don't have any context for how he apologized to her, but I do appreciate that at least there was an attempt.
Yeah.
So they kind of play in the dozens just a little bit here, where she's talking about his career and the progression. And then they talked a little bit about her being an actor, and I was like, oh Lord, he stepped on a landmine in this one.
Because
he didn't even realize it
at all. I was like, man, how
Yeah.
you gonna just because it's like I equate it now in life. If a dude would come up and tell me he don't believe in therapy, now when I was younger, it probably would have been dance or something like that, but I equate that to, so you don't believe in what I do?
Yes. I said, oh boy, I said he stepped on that landmine and just he didn't even know. It just went,
It exploded.
click.
Yep.
And when I can't remember if she said it or he said it, but nobody can write you.
Oh, girl, that's what triggered her again.
Yeah, except me. That's when I was like, oh, landmine. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he stepped in it. He didn't even realize it.
Yep.
Because you can
see her face change.
And that's what I was like, boy, Zendaya, she acted this movie, boy. Because
She
them
needs
facial
somebody
expressions,
awards
Oh, yeah.
for this.
the subtlety in her facial expressions throughout this entire movie were so beautiful. Because I was like, you can genuinely see, if you're an observant person, let me say that, you can see, like, you can immerse yourself in a moment like that and be like, I know exactly when that,
that energy shift.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is also right when the song "I Forgot to Be Your Lover"
Okay. Oh, okay.
is playing.
Okay.
Yes, because then she gets up off the couch, and this is when she's getting ready to go.
She's lighting a cigarette.
Yeah,
She
she
started
go-
smoking a cigarette.
Start smoking a cigarette.
And they really smoking. They smoking for real.
I know. I had wrote that earlier in my notes.
said,
I was like,
okay.
people really smoking in 2021.
I was like, okay, she looked like she was smoking Virginia Slim Menthol Light 120.
I said, who is still out here smoking cigarettes? I was like, man, I mean, if you're like 75, okay, but like y'all
She
in
was
y'all 20s and 30s,
smoking.
y'all smoking cigarettes? I was like, okay. But she's also was an addict. So then I was like, oh,
Hey,
okay.
if that's all she got.
Right. So she just kind of, like she said, she turned one vice to another. But I said, this is where I wrote in my notes, like the music in this movie was just, the choices were phenomenal. Because I was like, they communicate with each other through music.
They do.
That they use music to say what's really going on for them. Because that was his apology, which she throws back to a little bit later. But that was him saying, I forgot to be your lover.
When I say I was triggered, shout out to the person that knows I'm talking, because he listens to the show. I was like, oh, okay. This is
Girl,
what you've been
this
doing.
movie, if you ain't got your stuff together, this movie will trigger the mess out of you. Like, for real.
Yeah.
If you've ever been in an unhealthy relationship, or you are currently in an unhealthy relationship,
Or you are the toxic person.
right, or you are the this movie, if you're not careful,
it's gonna. Whew.
It will trigger
Child.
you because
Yes.
that
You
song
mad
right there.
for no reason. Why am I talking to you like this? You didn't do nothing.
I know.
Okay, we was just sitting here watching the movie.
Right, right.
But I was like, what I also appreciated that they played the original,
Yes.
not the
too.
Jaheim version.
I think
Yeah.
there's only two. Because I looked at this. Y'all know how I am. I'm a music head. I think there's only two new songs.
Yeah, the one that's about wasting time. That one,
That song is fire.
girl. I went and listened to the whole
Yes.
thing. I said, oh, this song is.
I said, okay, I got to go on my title. Not
Girl, I
sponsored.
already done added it
It's
to my
a
playlist.
playlist,
I was
yes.
like,
It's
I
on
gots
my
to have it.
introspective mind playlist. I said,
I
yes.
got to have it. I said, oh, this song right here, Jesus. But, and what I liked about the way they used the music is that they used it. It wasn't just
Correctly.
background.
It
Yeah.
was loud. It was blaring. They
were letting the music
actors
speak.
selected the song. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it was part of the movie. What I will say about this scene is that we see, although Marie craves emotional vulnerability from him, she is still shut off in so many ways. And when it started to get emotionally raw,
Yeah.
she walked out. And that's when she lit the cigarette and he playing the song at that point and all of that.
And so that's how you also know that when people who smoke, that's why they smoke, because they have anxiety. They are actually doing deep
stress
breathing.
relief.
Yeah, they're actually doing deep breathing. That's why it's hard. Well, other than the tobacco, that's why it's hard for people to stop smoking. A second reason why it's hard for people to stop smoking, because they're actually doing deep breathing.
Yeah,
They're
it's a
just
stress
not-
reliever.
They're just not getting good air. That's the problem. It's not helping you as much as you think it is. What?
Well, the nicotine receptors,
Yeah,
it's going to
yes.
highlight that immediately that, okay,
Addiction,
oh, all right, I'm good now.
You're getting it
the dopamine spike.
the dopamine release, but you're not getting the actual resolution
Yeah.
in your body that you think you're getting.
Right.
But this part of this movie was also hilarious because we obviously start seeing that Marie is a little quirky. Marie done walked off. We don't know where the hell Marie done went.
I know. Like, why?
And Malcolm is screaming
At the top of his lungs.
in the middle of the night as a black man. He is screaming, and I was like, Lord, is this gonna turn into a thriller? Like, what is going on? Because
Right.
he done walked around this whole home, can't find Marie nowhere. And then we see Marie pop out behind a tree
like,
because
what
she
are
been
you
peeing.
doing?
And he's like, you didn't want to pee in the house?
And she was like, no, I have a backyard. I ain't
She's
never
like,
had one before.
Like, I want to explore what I have.
I know.
said,
I was like,
okay.
that's a little weird, but
Yeah.
okay. And
I thought
girl,
that was
and
a
you
weird
knew him.
insert.
You knew he was calling you. You heard him.
Right.
Because he walked right by that tree
That's
calling
that
you.
getting back.
That stonewalling.
I'm trying to control.
That silent treatment for a whole hot second. And then inserts the re-escalation. That's how I put it on mine.
Yeah, because she
flips
believes
it
that he's the
again.
neediest man, but the least jealous man.
Which I thought
I mean, those are two different things.
they are. But it speaks to his character. You know, he does need you in a whole lot of ways, but because of his narcissistic tendency, he could never actually admit that to himself.
In my notes in this thing, I said, these insults is about to make me kill him.
Boy,
Because I was like, how does...
he called her an emotional support dog.
It was just...
She said that he apologized to her in an emotionally obtuse way.
I said, come on. Tell him you smart without telling him you smart.
I know. The big words, the SAT words in here was... Because I was like, why are they using the word pedantic? I was like, come on now. Who speaks to their partner that way?
Right.
Nerds.
I was like, but okay. But I was like, man, this man is I was like, he is just annihilating this chick.
It's like, how do you throw all of that, all that she is, all that she has overcome in her face as a way to bring her down?
Yeah, like you brought up her suicidal past to win an argument. I mean, that's deep.
That is deep.
You know, and that's the kind of stuff, like, if you are not careful, you can throw a person right
into
back to that
relapse.
moment.
And into relapse, because she's an addict.
That too. Because, you know, it can trigger something internally in you. you're already in the midst of having a discussion and an argument, and you're already both got hurt feelings going on. And then to now see like, oh, that's what you really think about me. So you just think I ain't gonna never get no better, or, like, he's already called her psychotic and crazy and deranged and all these things, the whole night so far. And, you're just self-grandizing. I did this for you. I was there for you. I took you to the hospital. I was the one that did this.
So
I
you did
this.
all of that for yourself, obviously, because it wasn't really for me.
Because now you're throwing it back up in my face.
And
So
I
that's why
didn't like that part where he was like, I'm not going to say it. He said you couldn't, have sex for half a year. And I was like, what?
Why would you want to have sex with an emotional zombie?
I know. I was like, why was that like? So this is when I was thinking, this is why you had to tell her I didn't cheat on you. Like, why?
Yeah,
what was the
makes
point of
sense.
you saying that she couldn't have sex for half a year?
And the thing is, obviously I went to the addiction part. So I was like, this is why they say in the rooms, which is AA meetings or 12-step meetings. This is why they say that people who are new in recovery should not start a new relationship, or shouldn't be in a relationship if you haven't already been in a long-term relationship. Because one, when you get people in your life and they start doing all these things, I took you to recovery. I went to this and I went to that. The thing is, you can become their higher power. And so now they're in recovery because of you. And so if something happens to the relationship, they're going to relapse because now they don't have their higher power anymore.
Or they stay with you because of that.
And now they feel like they owe you.
Right.
And that was the thing that I was putting in some of my notes. I was like, is he trying to say that you owe me because of these things that I did for you? Like, I was just like, why? You're just self-grandizing. You're just on your soapbox.
And even if
Here.
you do think she owe you, that still doesn't negate the fact of the original argument that you didn't thank her.
Right. Because you got that content from her.
Right.
Yeah. And, I will appreciate that their arguments go on waves. Now, when you in the midst of the wave, it's exhausting. But when you look back over it, it's this, she's taking it in, he's taking it in. There is this gradual build up. There's an explosion. There's the like, it's a whole roller coaster. And in this time, because this is where it get kind of really bad for the way like he's talking to her. It ain't the worst yet, but it gets kind of bad in this moment. And she takes that in, and you can see her like tearing up and all that kind of stuff. But then she flip it, and this is the first time that she actually annihilates him and goes off about,
his insecurities as a man, as a black man.
Yes, talks about the real reasons that they're actually together. They perfect for each other. One, I can't remember which person said that. It was probably her, actually, when she was listing everything that he has done for her and she has done for him. But it was war.
Because this is where, because she calls him mediocre here.
Yes.
And I was like, that's his thing. He's got imposter syndrome.
Because he really actually,
because he's a fraud.
Mediocre. He himself.
Yeah.
is
And he has
mediocre.
a perfection standard to live up to because of his parents.
Yeah.
Which is why he pulls her down, because she's greatness.
And
too.
that's right.
Both of them are technically.
And
but
that's also why he continues to date broken women, since she's not the first broken woman he dated.
that's all
True.
he's dated.
True. Yeah. I was like,
Key.
I said, that's what I was saying is, I said, well, she triggered him. She triggered the truth in him. That even, because everyone that knows anything about narcissist, that's the thing. Like, you really don't believe that you're as great as you portray on the outside. You do all of this grandiose stuff
So other
to
people
cover
can-
up the fact that you really feel inadequate.
It's a smoke screen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And she said, I'm going to pull that card right there. Let me go ahead and get my big joker out.
And that's how you knock them to their knees.
Okay. See, he
But
thought
see,
he had the ace of spades, and she was like, oh,
Yep.
Big joke.
I got big joker.
But see, that's the thing though. Like, when you have, and I'm talking to my fellas, when you have a woman that's really about being in your corner, they really know everything about you. You ain't even got to say it to her. She done learned you so well that she gonna be able to pick apart everything about you. But because she loves you, she don't do that. Now she was fed up. I don't know how much love she really had left in this scene because it didn't sound like she really had none. And she did annihilate him. Like I said, they go back and forth with this annihilation.
Yeah, because she did. Because she was talking, I mean, basically she called him a fraud. She's like, you're really privileged. Like, you're more privileged than the white woman that you're upset about.
Yeah, because it's like money. This is not like, okay, you first generation. No, you can tell that probably his people been free for a minute.
Right. Yeah.
Now what I can appreciate about his little speech there was that he was talking about how you don't have to be perfect at what you're doing. You just need to step out there and do stuff. Like if you fail at it, okay, you fail at it, but at least try. So that was one of the things that I could appreciate about his little monologue to her as he would continue to attack her.
Yeah. Because then they kind of separate from here. And that mediocre thing got under his skin, though.
But I appreciate the fact that she says, I regret opening up to you if you were going to use it against me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's, I put in my notes, that's one of the reasons why people have a hard time being vulnerable, because people are afraid that if I am vulnerable with you enough to share my most sacred and secrets to you, and you bring it up in an argument, that is the most humiliating feeling and embarrassing feeling that you can ever experience. And that's why a lot of people have a difficult time being vulnerable.
Right. And you didn't only just bring it up in an argument, you brought it up with the purpose to hurt me.
Yeah.
You weaponized my trauma.
Yeah.
So I completely agree.
To kill you.
I got to cut you. So here comes the bathtub scene.
Oh. Now she been trying to take this shower the whole movie.
She has.
Yeah, when she took them stockings off though, it made my leg itch. I can't stand stockings.
She had some good stockings though. I was like,
she did.
Yeah.
Them some $150 stockings right there.
She was very
the way they did a good job.
Yeah, she just looked really good.
They stuff.
She did.
Yeah, she looked really good.
But it, like we keep saying, there is the way the movie is moving is set up for what is happening with the characters. They weren't ready for the shower scene. They weren't ready to undress until they had already had those first, technically 3 major arguments with 7,000 pieces in the middle of that. And so it's not until they get into the bathtub scene and he go on his little walk situation that you really are like, oh.
And he bangs on the window talking about something mediocre.
I told you that thing triggered him.
Out of everything she said, that's what he would remember. Mediocre.
Because that's the real.
Yep.
Hit dog holler.
Okay. He knew it. He was like, oh man, she saw me. She really know. Yeah, she know. And again, here he goes with the gaslighting again.
She just in her bathtub.
Trying to chill out, trying to calm myself down.
Because you could tell she
exhausted.
Looked like she crying and all other kind of stuff.
Like,
she done dunked herself in the
I'm
water.
emotionally, I'm tired, dude. Like, I don't want to do this. And then here he come talking about you trying to turn this into a bad night. And I was thinking, well, she did tell you.
I don't want
to talk about this because she said nothing productive will be said tonight. She said that to you.
Yes.
But he said, oh, you went low, I'm going to hell. That's exactly what he did.
He said, you don't go high. He said he going to take it to the flow. And then he proceeds to say, you want to hurt me and I can hurt you 10 times worse. And I'm like, but why though?
So
because he wanted to not be mediocre in something.
Well, see, this right here to me,
you make a valid point.
This right here to me was him with telling her what his perception was of what she'd been saying, because he said that, you know, this has been the best night of my life, but you're trying to make it the worst by being irrational. So that's what you perceive out of what we're doing right now. That's what you're hearing. So what are you hearing that's making you think that this is irrational? Are you hearing you or are you hearing me?
Yeah. I would agree with that. I'm like, all this because she called you mediocre. Now you want to hurt her. And called her disturbed. I mean, he just was like, You just want to completely like eviscerate this woman.
And that's exactly what he did, because he broke her down by comparing her to every woman he had ever been with vivid descriptions, saying that he still had the letters, he still had the pictures.
He still responds
I'm
to
like,
one
you
of them.
are still
Yes.
connecting yourself to these people. Then why am I here?
Yes. You
So
send the heart emoji because you don't know what to say.
You don't send nothing.
So let me ask y'all a question then, because I want to be the devil's advocate.
Oh Jesus, here she goes.
So do y'all think that she asked for that?
No.
Because she kept saying that the movie was about her, but from his perspective, it has been a collective.
But the reality is there was not another drug addict in his life.
Yes,
So
it was.
The one that ended up dying from the
but you get what I'm saying, like the method of her life story.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I got you.
do I think she asked for it? No, because I don't ever think anybody asked to be abused. I'm gonna always be like, if you got points to make, even if he said these exact same points, it's the information that he gave tied to it. He could have definitely been like, no, I actually got this from Kiki. No, I got this from my girlfriend that was a drug addict. I got this from this person. I got this. He used that to hurt her. And
That's
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah, it wasn't information for the sake of information. It was, you hurt my feelings, so now what?
I'm
like
about
he
to
said,
have
I'm
a mantra.
Yeah, I'm gonna hurt you 10 times
yeah,
worse.
he prefaced it.
Yeah. And the thing is, I just asked that question because she kept saying that it was about her. And so in his mind, he had to prove that it was not all about her.
And my thing is, it took you time to think of that though, because when I said it the first time, you was hush mouth,
Right.
That's why he out there fighting the air.
Right.
because he
Before
knew it
came
was
in.
true. Again, you may have taken pieces of these other women and inserted them in the movie, but the character was based off me.
He went so far as to say, I should have thanked her sister or her, the one who died, who OD'd. I should have thanked her tonight because, boy, what
Right.
you just... I'm about to take your whole head and drown you in this tub.
Yeah,
And just like
he called her a clown. I was like,
Yes.
oh my god, dude, you were doing way too much.
Yeah. Just like Dr. Strickland was saying earlier, the way that Zendaya's face acted in this scene, like, I was like,
The lip quiver, the eyes, the way she was looking. I
the
was
way her
like,
frown came together.
man,
And then the way John David delivered the lines, I was like, I was like,
it was, the acting in this is great.
Yeah, it is. The other thing that I, of course, went to Addict Mind was when he said that you may not be an addict anymore, but you still trying to figure this out. Because when she said keep going, I thought that's classic addict. You staying in the chaos.
And he did say that. You know, that she uses this as a way to
be needed.
and build herself up.
And she is lonely. But what I think people forget, when you have someone who has suffered from some type of addiction, they don't feel. And so this is their first time feeling things. So you do become a little bit of an addict to your emotions. Once at one point you were running from them and now you're immersed in them.
Well, you don't know how because you were running from them, you don't know how to get attached to them again, because the substance or whatever you used has wiped your emotions out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I hate is when people use love, like the I love you, as a they weaponize that as well.
God, yes.
Love them up to tear them down.
Yeah, because I'm like, you say you love her, but in the same breath, you're calling her a clown. You've called her an emotional support dog, psychotic, deranged, irrational. You've said all of these things. Disturbed.
You've had dreamy eyes when you're talking about Kiki. Like, you still thinking about other women.
The heart shape, was it the tub or was
The
it the
tub.
heart shaped bed?
I think it's the tub.
Something. But the point is, you done shared your whole
Sex life.
childhood, adolescent, young adult, mid 30s experience with me in the midst of an argument to make me hurt.
And then at the end of that, gonna say that I can't accept that somebody actually loves me. Sir.
No, you can't. You can't, because you don't accept your parents' love.
Yeah.
You don't accept your sister's love. You don't accept her love. You give, you allow them to love you to the degree that you love yourself.
Right.
And neither one of y'all truly love yourselves yet.
True.
That is so true. Man. So then they both go outside
To smoke.
to smoke again. And I was like, man, they using that music again.
Marie wasn't done.
No, because now I done sat here and listened to all this.
Get rid of him.
This song was hilarious.
Yes.
And she was looking at him like, you gonna say something?
Right.
I know. The whole time I was like, boy, they know how to pick these songs.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I was like, Dionne Warwick.
That's what I said. I said, you talked about him about picking a song that was 50 years old. You probably picked a song that's 70 years old. I was like, Dionne Warwick. When was the last time she like sang for real?
Jesus Christ. Before she couldn't sing before them cigarettes.
But you see that he couldn't sit in that though.
He couldn't.
I will
He
say
was
that
squirming.
she'll sit in it for a second and then leave, but you could tell, like it was like ants was all over his body. He was like, I'm gonna go in the house. And that's when all hell breaks loose in his mind by himself, because a review done came out.
Right. But what I was thinking while that song was playing, again, this is him not, while I agree, things we've said before about them using music to communicate, but what I was like, you're not listening to the words. The words are saying, like, if you listen to the main character in the song, her friends are telling her, leave this dude. He is not good for you. And she's like, no, I'm not leaving him.
And she even actually sang something to leave or whatever. She was like, oh no, or whatever the part of the chorus that she sung.
Right.
And it's like, dude,
She telling you,
You beautifully flawed, but I'm staying
right
here
like
with
you my
you.
person.
I ain't going nowhere.
And you, but you so caught up in your feelings that you
'Cause
can't even
he's
hear.
still mediocre in his head. He's still banging on that glass.
He is.
yeah, he's
Still
still fighting
call
the
me
air.
mediocre. I done made a whole movie.
And I'm
Uh-huh.
still not good enough.
Right.
He had
that's that
King Kong ain't got nothing. He had one of them.
Oh my God, I told Derek the same thing. I said, boy, he is doing that training day monologue if I ain't ever heard one.
It was so many parts of this movie. I was like, man, he sounds just like his voice is the replica of his daddy's voice. I was
He
like,
looks like his mama. Like
he look
straight
like
up.
both of them to me.
I think he looks mostly like his mom.
I don't think I've seen enough of his mom to
she's very
be
prim
able to
and
compare.
proper.
Yeah,
to me.
she's a very like a Lynn Whitfield, that kind of like very
Classy.
regal.
Yes.
But I was like, yeah, if you close your eyes and just listen to him,
It was scary.
I know he doesn't like to be compared to his father, but
I mean, y'all
I
related.
I swear.
We're not comparing it in a bad way.
oh no. But his voice though. I mean, if you close your eyes, I'd have been like, I would have swore that was Denzel in that movie. But anyway, but I was like, dude, you're Malcolm. You are not listening to the words. She's trying to tell you that as crazy as you are, I'm not leaving you. Like, I'm here with you, and we're gonna try to figure this thing out. So then he goes inside after being upset and gets some notification somehow
That a reviews come out.
that a review of his film has come out.
by the white woman from the LA Times.
But you know what? This is a prime example of what Marie was talking about earlier with this dang macaroni and cheese. I be there for you. I do whatever you need. She's sitting there, the picture of calm. Babe, is it here? Because he can't find his wallet because he don't pay the subscription monthly on auto pay. He wants to pay it because he's a control freak. He wants to pay it because he don't give out his information like that.
I know. I was like, when she said it ain't saved in your phone.
Right.
She trying to guide him. He can't find his wallet.
She tell him,
He
did you
run-
look in the room?
Did you look here? Did you look there? Would you this where you came? He's like, he found it, and then she was like, where was it?
It don't matter.
That don't matter.
Because it was exactly where I told you it was at.
And then he can't find his phone that he
through
put down. It was
on the table.
hilarious.
This reminded me of Color Purple when Mister was running around
trying to cook this food.
No, he
No,
didn't
he
know
was
where he was looking for his socks and his tie.
Yeah.
And then, I think Celie was sewing
sock.
the hole in the sock or whatnot. And he was running around because Suge was coming.
Yeah.
And he didn't know where nothing. He didn't know
though.
know where nothing was. And she was just like, just over
Just
there,
pointing out, yeah.
over there. I was like, that's exactly what that reminded me of. I was like, it made me think about my spouse, that he really has no idea where nothing is.
I was just getting ready to say that
Like,
about my fiance. 'cause
Nothing.
I'm
Like nothing.
He just recently, I think, figured out where his clothes are. I said, how you don't know where your clothes are? You wear them.
Girl.
He's like, but you organized it. Okay.
Girl, have you seen my? It's in the blah 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 blah. How do you know that?
Cause I live here.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I put stuff away. That's why I know where stuff is at.
Yeah.
I remember one time Derek had lost his his key card to his job to get in the building, but I knew where it was because I saw it laying in this random spot, and I was like, he gonna come tomorrow morning asking me, have you seen my key card? So I hung it up by the alarm panel, and here, sure enough, have you seen I can't find my I'm about to be late. Because anybody knows my husband knows he's perpetually late.
But he's a race car driver.
He is. He get there. He get there. But here he is running around because he can't find his key card. So then I'm like, it's on the hook by the alarm panel. Why is it over there? I said, because I knew when I saw it laying in this random spot, it was like in the front door area. I was like, what? And he was like, oh, see, that's why I love you.
That's right. See, I knew it. I know. That's why I love you, girl.
I'm like, oh, that's why you love me.
It's the structure and organization for them.
Yes.
I ain't gonna call him out, but my homeboy, he know who he is. He got me helping him with his podcast descriptions right now, and I be like, I love you, boy. I love you. I got your back.
Like, what would you really do if I wasn't here?
Continue to look with their man eyes.
Girl,
I be like,
It's
stop
right
looking with your
there.
man eyes.
Where, babe? Where you put it?
where's the ketchup?
Right
the
next
fridge.
to the mustard.
I don't see it.
It's red.
It's on the third row.
It's in the door. It's in the door. Look in
Are
the door.
you sure? Go right in there and find it.
Yes. You just wanted me to. If you wanted me to exercise, just say that.
Okay. So this is exactly how Malcolm is running around at this point in time.
She giggling.
She was. And he finally get, his credit card information in there and purchases whatever subscription he needs to read this review. And then now he upset and going on this huge,
For no reason.
huge rant about how she's trying to politicize his movie, which I was like, it sounds like you tried to make a political movie, but whatever.
He said political movies are exhausting.
Isn't that what you did, Malcolm?
That's exactly what you did. And then he was like, he had made some small comment like black people are not going to want to see his film. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, did you make a movie for black people or did you make a movie
With black people in it.
right? Because there's a difference.
Right.
Everybody that watches, black movies, there's going to be a difference in the styling of a film that is for black people versus a movie that has black people in it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, so which one did you actually write? Mm-hmm.
He wrote
If
a
he
black
even
movie.
knows.
True. And this is another thing I was thinking about this movie. It was very self-referential in this moment. Because he was talking about how the reviewer was saying that in one instance, he, didn't fall into one trope, but then he did fall into another one. And I was thinking, absolutely, because you are a man, so you cannot come from the lens and perspective of a woman. So you may have been able to skip over the black tropes, but because you are not a woman, you don't fully understand what the experience of a woman is. Exactly. So then you fell into the tropes of misogyny.
It's no different than everybody kind of, hitting this movie about it being a white director and writer. It's no different.
Exactly. Because she was saying, well, I think Marie said, well, was the nudity scene necessary or something like that?
I was just getting. I didn't know if that's where you were going or
Yeah,
not. Yeah.
because he
because-
didn't understand that concept.
He really didn't. But again, it's because you are a man. So if you don't have a female voice with you, helping you along the
Yes.
way as you're writing, you're going to write your movie from the perspective of a man.
Yeah.
And then he tried to blame it on Taylor. Well, Taylor was the one who suggested it. Okay, but you are the
She
writer.
not helping you. So
Right.
Right.
in terms of prime example of this is if y'all have ever watched Insecure or P-Valley. So those movies are going to have more male nudity in them. And that is not a norm for anything.
No.
So you seeing the peen, you seeing the booty, you seeing all kind of stuff. Now, you see a movie of this series of this same nature, it's normal to see women. Breast, booty,
All the time.
all of that. But you switch that up and now people have a problem with that because it's like, well, did we really need to see his genitalia? You've been looking at women's genitalia for centuries.
How about that?
Full,
nothing.
How about
full
that?
frontal.
Yes.
Let's not even go back centuries. Josephine Baker,
Oh
Boy.
which
oh,
I
Lord,
love.
Jesus
That's a good
Christ,
movie.
I ain't
Yeah,
seen
that's a
that.
good
That was a
movie.
good one though.
That's a
But
good one.
that's a prime example. Like that whole rolling 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, like all of that was sexualized.
Yeah.
Because some of them rival the
But
WAP
see-
song.
But see, that's the thing. I think that
Yes.
goes back to they can't handle what they dish out.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with that. And so he couldn't conceptualize that the nudity was not necessary. If, from what I remember from this particular scene, Marie was saying that if you had not had the nudity, how much more impactful would that scene have been? Because it wouldn't have been a distraction.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at nipples because you can't figure out how to make her emotionally vulnerable.
Right.
So you made her physically vulnerable.
Exactly.
Right.
Man.
That makes you think though about how frequently women are so sexualized, objectified.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all of that.
It just really don't be necessary. I
What-
get
yeah.
like when you having a scene and you know we about to get it in. Like I completely understand that, but like
They were arguing because the context of that scene was the character Imani and whomever she was with were arguing, like Marie and Malcolm were arguing.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Which
And
that's why I
Marie
was like,
had on clothes. I mean, she had on, sleepwear, but she wasn't
She
nude.
wasn't naked. No,
Right.
she had on a normal woman.
Would
Would
wear
have
around
on
the
in
house.
her house.
After I
ain't
just got
nobody
out of the
having no
bath.
bra on and all that. We
Right.
going to bed.
Right.
right. And that's why I was like, this film was very self-referential in this moment because they're doing the exact thing that happened in the film that they're talking about.
Yeah.
And he's just not getting the point, like
No.
you're not getting it. Like right now, if we were arguing and I didn't have my top on, like who's doing that?
Nobody.
Like ain't nobody out here arguing topless.
Because even if I was topless, when we start arguing, I'm about to
putting
put
a shirt
right.
on.
I'm about to put a shirt on.
And I might put my sports bra. Like
Because I might put some pants on too.
Exactly.
While you really out here.
Right.
and my sneakers. I don't want I can't hit my toes if I'm fighting
Right.
Okay.
because it's over. I
Like-
took myself out.
I don't think I've ever heard of any woman like, yeah, we was arguing and I ain't had no clothes on. What?
No, unless that's how y'all both started. At some point, clothes got back on. I'm sorry. Or we started clothes and it got so rough that the clothes was torn off. But it
Right.
was not. We just was like this.
Right. And he's just so obtuse.
He's an idiot.
As she, as she
So
said.
smart, you stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the perfect sum up for it. So then Marie kind of starts talking about the hypocrisy of Hollywood and how they all
I'd appreciated that.
Yeah.
so
shell
much.
themselves out to make themselves feel better.
Yep.
And he was a part of that system as well, which
You gotta own it.
because she definitely lets him know, like, no, you are not down. Like, you did not come up in the hood. You did not have a difficult life. You are every bit as unaware
Yeah.
as these people that you claim are
Yeah.
you know, racist or supremacist or what any ism.
You are part of them.
Yeah, you're a part of that system. Y'all are playing dress up.
What I could appreciate is the fact that he allowed. Now that was a part where he allowed her to say it.
This was the beginning.
Without him getting in his feelings in a negative way.
But it also wasn't truly about him as a man. It was about him as a director, as a screenwriter.
Yeah.
It was removed from his person. Now, what I will say is I appreciate that they talked about, you know, 3 main areas, which I think was so important, which is, you know, the diversity of stereotypes in film. Also talked about America and capitalism, because we just went through a dang snowstorm that could have been prevented.
Yes.
Because I know all of us were without power. I didn't have power until the last day, and no water either. But then also talked about, you know, the fakeness of the industry and how it is just, you're selling everybody a bill of goods.
Yeah.
Like, and none of you really care.
Yeah. You all
It
just
looks
pimping
good.
yourselves out. Or prostituting yourselves out.
Yeah.
Both.
True.
So then they proceed to act like they're going to get hot and heavy.
Yeah, I already knew it was going to be a mistake. When he said he had to get up, I was like, oh, God, you're going to give her time to think.
I said the same thing. I said, oh, landmine number 2.
But I am appreciative of this scene, because they needed some type of physical connection, because there's been a lot of distance between them. And so I can appreciate that. And I appreciate that it showed in their relationship that there still is an openness. Because a lot of people, when they were watching this film, they're like, I can't understand why they keep going back to each other. I can't believe, I can't da-da-da-da. The thing is, it's not that these 2 people don't have love for each other. Yes, it is that toxic struggle love, but they do have that. And they need a therapist and exorcism to help them figure out, you know, where they can improve and get better with that. But I do appreciate this almost sex scene, because it was a reprieve for the viewer, but it was also a reprieve for their characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what really does happen in these types of relationships.
Yeah.
You have these highs and lows. Y'all are going hard in the paint on each other, and then you just kind of like, you lose steam. And then you get to either you do have some makeup session, or you get to where you are going to, you know, like, that's real. That does actually happen.
Yeah. I definitely appreciated that moment, as you ladies both said, because first of all, I think they showed how, like we were saying earlier, it showed how couples actually react, respond, communicate, argue, you know, all of the
Even
above.
in a healthy relationship.
The disjointedness of it.
Yes. And but still have love and can come back and be connected. Now, sometimes it doesn't happen that fast,
No.
but this is a movie. But it does happen, and it can happen.
Absolutely.
He shouldn't have been drinking that brown. He can't hold his liquor. So because if y'all don't know nothing about sex, having to pee and then trying to have sex don't really go together.
No.
But y'all,
I could see in her facial expressions
Yes.
again.
the beauty
was
of her
smiling,
facial
and then that-
breakdown. I
Yes.
said, "Oh my God, I have been you."
Yes.
In
Yes.
this moment where it just overtakes you, like, what am I doing?
Yes.
And in this instant, it really didn't have nothing to do with Malcolm. It really had everything to do with her. She was having an introspective moment.
Yep.
And you could just, the way she sucked you in the complete change of her energy.
Yeah.
But then
That grimace.
That one tear.
yes,
Babe, I was like, kind of how, like you said, that forgot to be your lover. Like, that's
Yes.
that's that, like, dang. Like, you not crying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between, like, kind of crying and you
then
just
I'm
drop.
thinking, and
Exactly.
it's like
And it's
it's
just
something that
one-
hit me,
and there's
it's
no
like, man.
music
Yeah.
in this scene at all, which is different than what we have been experiencing. But baby, soon as he got through, and he was trying to hurry.
He knew
was
too.
shaking.
As soon as he
watching.
came around the
said-
corner, he was like,
"Oh, man,
He was like deflated.
dang it!"
it's like, I missed my opportunity. Because he knew it too.
Yeah.
Because he didn't even come all the way in the room.
He's like,
He
she was like,
stopped
can I
right
ask
there.
you a question without you making me feel like?
She did preface it that time.
Yeah.
I was appreciative that she was requesting what he sucked at giving it to her, but she did request it this time.
Yeah.
And she said, "Why didn't you cast me?"
And then is that what this has been about this whole night? I'm like, sir.
She said, not get angry. This is the opposite of that.
Yeah. Again, you don't know how to de-escalate.
Yeah. And something that which we eventually get down to, is that we made this together, but then you left me out.
Mm-hmm.
And that is really what she's been trying to say this whole time about the process of this film. It wasn't that he took her story, because she technically gave it freely. She gave it willingly, but it's the fact that
it's also his story.
It's also his story.
Yeah. But see, what I appreciated about that part is that she was like, you were able to tell it from your perspective, but I couldn't. I don't have my story anymore.
Now I will never be able to tell it.
I love that. That was so pivotal for me.
And it showed that he was willing to like lay her bare and still not have to share any of himself.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
So much there. This particular scene made me think about Beyonce and Jay-Z. His 444 album and her Lemonade album. It made me think, and not that I'm it just made me it made me think about each of them, because they used their art to express a deeply traumatic point in their marriage.
Yeah.
And how they both got a chance to tell their story in from their perspective in their own art form. That's that's based off of them.
Yeah. And the fact that you bring it up, I cannot think of the song right now, because my mind just don't pull information like that right now. But there's a song on Beyonce's album, and they're both on the Carter album. It's not Beyonce album, on the Carter album, and she going in, and he's like, wait, whoa. Like, no, you don't get the quiet what she got to say about how you did her.
Right.
Just like if she done did something to you, she don't get to quiet you.
Right.
You got to take that on the chin, my dude. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
when Beyonce start calling you bros and all other kind of stuff, you know, it's just a certain level that us women go to. Like,
bruh.
I'm trying. That's the nicest thing I can say right now. Because if I say what I want to say, it ain't gonna be bruh.
So all my homegirls know that I'll come up. You'll be a pan, a hand, a band, like it could be all kind of stuff. And for y'all don't know, those are acronyms.
Yeah, we can't get into all of them. But you will be them.
A punk, a ninja, like you'll be all of them, and I don't care.
Yeah. Like if you take a person to that level, this is why the thing that I liked about this film is that, well, one, they didn't get to, well, because they were very educated in the way they spoke, but that really does happen.
Yeah.
And like if you take a person to a level, like, okay, I'm about to be, like you said, broke, N, punk, A, you know, PUSSY. You know, you gonna be all kinds of things. Like,
got no alibi.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can really take a person to behaving in a way that it's uncharacteristic of themselves.
The song that popped up in my head is "Don't Push Me," because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep them going under.
See, you don't. The fact that songs like that exist, it lets you know, like, this is human nature. Like, it's only so much in me. To remain peaceful. Especially as somebody who is an introvert, and I've said this several times. I'm an introvert. I'm an empath. I like to love people. I like to have the more like warm and fuzzy emotions. But if you constantly hitting me with the bad, it's like I got knives all over my body, all over my spiritual body. Like, I can't take that for too long. Now you done made the demon Scorpio come up out of me, and she don't really come out too much. Yeah, well, now I got to kill you.
It's like when you back an animal into a corner. You know, if you
reptilian brain.
Yeah, that is going to take over immediately, and I got to survive. And if my way of survival is now I got to come out swinging, then
Yeah.
okay.
Those emotional responses, fight or flight, fawn, freeze. I think I'm missing one, but it's no joke.
Yeah. Yeah. That when I was just listening to how, of course, how he argues, because I was listening to how she argued, but she wouldn't be somebody I'd be in a relationship with. When I was looking at how he was arguing, I was like, yeah. First of all, I would never be able to be in a relationship with someone like that because my temperament does not match that.
The dude?
Yeah, I would be in jail because
the way he was speaking.
Yeah, the way he was speaking, I would have already done pulled his whole esophagus out. Because, like, sir, what the heck? Ooh, I almost cussed just a second ago.
My folks know when I look at you and then I say, "Who the f you talking to?" They're like, "Oh."
See, my thing is, so you want to go there?
Yeah.
You want to do this?
I try to give you the warning before she come. Have you ever seen
white
somebody
knuckling.
have friends that like hold them back when they about to kill somebody, fight somebody? That'd be me talking to myself. I'm not trying to protect me. I'm trying to protect you because when I get to a place where I have black limbic rage, I'm not going to remember who you are. You don't exist.
Yeah, see, I think I do
This
that
is the
now. I try to
nexus.
give you a warning now, but back in the day, no, you wouldn't have got no warning. You was going to get these hands. You was going to get the
0 to 100 real quick.
Girl, in 1.2 seconds, I'm already punching your face.
Yeah, I know she said she done come a long way. She
done come
trying
a-
to love people instead
Yes.
of hurting them.
Yes.
Lord have mercy.
I am so thank God, because I promise I wouldn't have the fiance I got now.
But that's probably why, on the flip side of that, why me and Dr. Strickland are the way we are, having been very mild-mannered when we were younger and took too much.
Yeah.
And so we swung way to the wrong
other
side
side.
for a little bit, and then we done
Came back to the middle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely went through a period of time where I was zero tolerance.
Just be crying.
yeah,
And then, now I got to cut you.
yeah.
Shot me in my pinky toe.
Yeah, I definitely would say I did that pendulum swing. Went from way over the top, like sensitive and everything, and then went to the like, oh no, I don't care. You could even breathe wrong, and I'm like, why are you chewing like that? Like, why are you being stupid over? You know, I mean, like,
Why your feet look like that?
yeah, just like completely went to the other side.
My mom
like,
always
come
tells this story that she knew that I was a thug in my spirit when she heard me cussing somebody out in her shop.
Oh wow.
Meanwhile, it wasn't no people in the shop. It was just workers still in the shop. But she heard me read this person for filth. She said, "I've never been so proud and so disrespected and so embarrassed in my life, and you weren't even talking to me."
Wow.
She's like, "You annihilate people." She's like, "Please don't ever get there again. That is just not a place." I said, "They shouldn't have took me there."
Yeah, people don't realize.
I couldn't stop myself from going.
They don't be realizing.
Yeah, I like that meme say on Facebook. I was a thug before I was a healer.
I do. I embrace my dark and my light, my shadow work and my healer.
Yes, all of it.
See, I have to. I can't allow my, cause see, child, no,
It can get bad.
It can
It
be
can.
real bad. It can be bad. So I try to embrace this side of
Mm-hmm.
me.
No, you do, but I'm saying like you can't ignore it.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah, that's true.
But that's
true.
probably why we all had the same type of therapy style
Yeah.
that we use.
Yeah.
That rational emotive behavior therapy,
Oh, yeah, for
reality
sure.
therapy. Them are top
Yeah.
ones that we kind of go to.
Yeah.
I agree. Man. So
We
then
digressed.
we did.
It's okay.
But it
it's
all
okay.
makes
They
sense. It's
like
all
it.
relevant.
They
relevant.
like it.
Let's see what else is going on in this moment here.
We're getting ready to go into the acting scene.
Oh, that's right. Because she's saying that I could have made your film better.
Yep.
And he calls her jealous. And she's like,
Till she proved it.
she said, no, it's more than that.
This part right here reminded me. I don't know if y'all, because I just saw it yesterday. It was a interview that I think Venus Williams was doing when she was younger, and the man asked her if she was going to win, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm going to win." And he was like, "You're confident." She said, "Yes."
Oh, and the daddy came
And
in.
the daddy, yes,
Yes.
This what that reminded me of, because he was like, "You're jealous." No, I just know my story. This is
Yes.
my life.
She knows her ability. And when I say she scared me, because I was like, please let this be a monologue. This is what I'm saying in my head as it's unfolding. It's like, please let this be a monologue.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, she done went off the deep end.
She done came in there. She had that spooky walk. She done become unhinged because right before this, she went and looked in the cabinet to see if her medication was there because she has not been taking her. They didn't actually say what she had, but I'm assuming it's probably depression, anxiety.
And he said that she had been taking antidepressants because that's why she couldn't have sex for half a year.
But we didn't know like her specific diagnosis. But she looked in the medicine cabinet, and obviously she ain't been taking it. She fine technically, but when she walked out there, she had a knife.
I said, because wait, she got into full character. The hair, because now the hair is messy
all over,
and she went and put that robe on. You know that like that attic robe. She went and put that robe on.
Every movie.
I was like, when I first saw
Lady
it, I was
Sing
like,
the Blues.
She get ready to relapse.
I said, oh man, she done went off the deep end. I said, he finally did it.
Yep.
He pushed her.
And when you saw that black man fear, she about to stab me. Like he was backing up, but he was trying not to move either at the same time. Like, let me cover all my good organs. Like it was hilarious. It wasn't hilarious watching it, but how did I play it back in my head? It's hilarious.
Yeah. He did some good facial acting in this moment right here too.
I said, you better come on, John David.
He did some really good facial acting. And baby, when she said, and that's
why I would have made your film.
Authenticity.
He talking about, well, why you didn't do that then
in audition? Why you didn't do that in audition then?
I was like, fool. Like, Lord have mercy. But she did that.
But the thing is, in that same setting, his apologies ended up being wrapped up in his excuses to be great. To not be great.
Oh, man. You know what we skipped over?
What?
Before the knife scene, he was sitting outside and they were arguing back and forth and she screamed, I hate you.
Oh, yeah. That was so funny to me.
And then he screamed it back at her and then they just went, ah!
That was hilarious.
Yes, because that's when she went to the cabinet.
Yeah. And that's when he started playing that song, We Don't Have Time to Waste.
Yeah, ooh, that's the good song.
That's the good song.
Yeah, please go look. I got to find that song.
Yeah,
and tell y'all who did it.
When I went and listened to that song, I was like, because in the lyrics in that song, they're saying, "Tell me what you want me to hear, because we don't have time to waste." And I was like, They do. Because I think he was laying on the floor. Like when she went in after they said, I hate you, then he went in and laid on the floor.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was a good musical choice right there too.
I think it's called Wasted and it's by Namadi. Namadi. Nnamdi. But the song is bomb, y'all.
It really is.
It's bomb.
I was like,
If we had the rights to play music, I would definitely play a little piece of it for y'all. But I ain't gonna go that far, you know. We could do 10 seconds, but I ain't gonna do it.
Right. But I was like, that was really good. And then the thing I was telling when I was watching it with my spouse, I was like, sometimes you get to that point. You still love the person, but like in this moment, like in this moment, I really do hate you.
It's the
like,
Kelly song. I hate you so much right now.
Yeah. Emphasis asterisk on right now. Because I don't hate you in a general sense, but like right in this second. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, genuinely, I hate you. Like you have brought something out of me that I don't want to be there. You are not addressing and acknowledging anything that I'm feeling at all.
Yep.
And you know, you're making me question so much about myself. You're making me question stuff about our relationship. And I hate you.
It's a lot.
To get to that level, it's luckily for them, they work through it. But in most situations, it don't end very well for people because it's like you can't continue to exist with each other in a broken place like that.
Right.
I think that's a part of why here in our at Balanced Speaking, we have our couples to also do individual therapy.
And they be mad at us. And I'd be like, well, don't come here.
Right, because you can't do couples therapy without doing individual therapy, because a lot of the individual stuff that you have going on is what's coming into the marriage.
That is our belief.
Yes.
That is how we operate here in this private practice.
Yes.
Right.
You can go somewhere else and they can do whatever they want to do to you.
Right.
But here,
And that doesn't make it wrong either.
No.
That's just our style.
Yeah.
Agreed. So in this scene, after the knife scene again, they're talking about she's trying to re-explain to him again why the topless scene in his movie was unnecessary. That, you know, it took away from the film and showed like you're a misogynist.
Yeah.
You know, she was trying to explain to him like you don't apologize, like you take things too far. And
What if factor?
Yeah, the what if factor. You don't see things from a female perspective. Like you're just stuck in your own way of thinking and how you view the world, and you're a narcissist.
And that's how you treat our relationship.
Yeah. She goes into depth about how him breaking her down and comparing her to the women in his past relationships, how that made her feel. And there's a lack of wonder. Now there are things that I will do to you and I'll think of them. It won't be about us, it'll be about them. It's like you didn't take the opportunity in this situation to think, how can I be better? It's about how can I make her hurt on the same level that I'm hurting, because I'm refusing to deal with it.
And that in turns is how you create insecurities.
Yeah.
Because now I'm insecure about whether or not, because she said something about him being attracted to this. I can't remember what she said. Basically being skinny.
She talked about a big butt.
Yeah.
Because she knows his type.
Because she is not his type, technically.
The way she described it, it sounds like he likes voluptuous women. And she said she was a green bean or a string bean or something like that.
Something about a skinny. I don't remember which one she used.
But yeah, that she physically, at least body type wise, is the opposite of what he likes. Now, facially, who knows? Yeah, I thought there was a lot going on here.
This was their only healthy conversation. Unless it was the jokey parts. The jokey parts fine.
Yeah.
But this was their only, from here to the end, was the only healthy conversations that they had the whole movie.
And a part of it, I think, is because he actually didn't talk. He listened.
He did.
Yeah. When he started tearing up, I said, "Don't you do me?"
Yeah, because she talked about how he never asked how he can be a better partner. You just assume, which is what he pretty much does the whole film.
Yeah.
Like you just assume that I'm gonna be there. You had no doubt about anything today.
Yeah. Marie represents the lost partner in a relationship. When somebody decides to take the back burner, become the back burner in a relationship to allow the other person to truly fly and soar. And sometimes that person that's flying and soaring forgets that they left somebody on the ground.
And that person took the back burner to get you there.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that we all are entrepreneurs and we're constantly starting something new. You know, I often ask my fiance, you know, how are you feeling in the relationship? Are you happy? How are things going for you in the relationship? Because, you know, because he's talented too. He's very creative.
But it takes a special type of person to date an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
That's why I'm single right now.
But I also try, because I actually just told him this yesterday, that I don't want him supporting me as much as he is supporting me to make him lose what he wants to do. And so I told him, I was like, okay, after we get married in March, when we get back, I need you to choose one of the whatever thing you want to create. I need you to choose one so we can focus on that and we can get that going. Because if you
both.
Yeah, because we always thinking, okay, we can ready to do this. All right, let's do it.
Because I'm telling you, any dude to come into this triangle, you got to be prepared to like be okay with
Yeah.
woman bosses, because that's what we are. We got two other things in the works, so it's just like
Yeah.
constantly going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can't forget about our significant others, because at
No.
the end of the day, yes, these things will bring us income and financial stability, but they're not going to cuddle us at night.
Right.
No, we like y'all well, future bae included. We like y'all cuddles.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's why for some of my clients, we work on that whole idea of I don't need a man, like really getting that out of their repertoire. And it's like, no, or let me say significant other, but for the most part, most of my clients are heterosexual women. But that whole idea of I don't need anybody, and it's like, no, you do. You do need a man. The things you need him for may be different than what, you know, your mama needed a man for, or your great grandma or whatnot, but you do need someone to be there. There are certain things that a partner can give you that your friends and your family cannot.
Yeah, because that support of a partner can give you so much energy that like
healing bond.
Yeah.
You know, that this part of the movie speaks to that. It speaks to the vulnerability. It speaks to the living open and being in a raw, an emotionally raw situation, and doing that with care instead of annihilating each other, instead of poking fun or not truly being supportive. And it's sad that we only get these last brief minutes of what that actually looks like for them, but when you do see it, it is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I felt sad and hopeful and sad in these last few minutes of the film. I felt, I don't know what exactly for the Marie character, when she kind of said like, I know this is the best you're gonna be.
Oh man.
Like,
Yeah,
I know it's not gonna get better. What you showed me tonight, that's it. I know that
that part when she said, you said that you can break me like a twig, I was like, that girl.
yeah.
It's because it goes back to like, why would you want to?
Right.
You know, I do appreciate him discussing briefly, you know, what she does mean to him and how he feels about her, because you haven't really heard the positives that she brings to the table from his mouth.
Right.
And so it was good to see that and to see him emoting and being emotionally expressive. Now, that does not mean that as a man you got to be out here crying and boo-hooing. That's not what we saying.
But
Right.
if you do,
But you
it's okay.
emote from whatever your emotions are telling you to do. You're not holding it back.
Yeah, I felt hurt, I believe, for her when she started giving what he could have said for his thank you to her.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, it was so good, but it was so heartbreaking.
Yeah. Because it showed the breadth. It goes back to when, like you were just saying a moment ago, Dr. Wall, about the person that takes the back burner. Like, you didn't even thank me for picking your suit out.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't even get dressed without me.
She tied it back to that dang mac and cheese too.
And I fixed your ungrateful behind mac and cheese after you didn't thank me for nothing.
And even the part when she said, I was the one who read the scripts.
I read it 100 times.
She revised all of them.
Right. And I made notes on your scripts.
I made your coffee.
Because I'm the only one that keeps it real with you.
I got the movers ready for us to move here.
I was the one who went to the shooting of the scenes.
Yeah. So
Every
she
time.
wasn't sitting back. It wasn't, I'm riding your coattails.
Right.
Goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, is that, yeah, she is a kept woman, but she's bringing everything. When you say you need to help me, you better be mindful of what you really mean by that, because you'll get it and you won't be prepared for it.
Right. Like, you didn't even thank me for being an addict. The only reason you have
Girl,
this film.
when she said that part, I was like,
You didn't thank me for
girl.
getting clean.
Ooh.
I'm the reason you have this film. All that mess you was talking in the bathroom about these other women, that was to hurt me. But really and truly, this is our story. And you wouldn't have been able to make this film had I not been that woman. And you didn't even acknowledge that.
You thanked everybody else, but you couldn't think of the fact that, first of all, I'm the woman that you lay beside every day.
Mm-hmm.
And you couldn't think of nothing to say thank you for to me, even if it was just the fact that I got your coffee. You couldn't thank me.
Nope.
You forgot? What, mother boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that this is at this point in the film that he finally
The light bulb.
the light bulb comes on. He's not really too communicative in this moment. He says like a few things, but mostly it's him standing there taking it, crying, not in an emasculating type of way or anything like that. It's just like him standing in his truth. But like I said earlier, how she went and took the bath or the shower earlier, this is also when he takes his mask off. He takes his clothes off at this point in the scene, and they staring at each other through these mirrored images, kind of like a certain workshop coming up called Mirrored Souls, ironically.
Put the plug in.
But they're seeing each other clearly for the first time. It's nothing being said. They're just watching each other. So I can appreciate what the director did, because it's these quiet moments that, Lord, we needed by this point of the movie.
Yes, absolutely. So then they get in the bed, and this is where you can tell he really thought about it, because unprompted. And then when a person wants an apology, this is what they want. I don't want to have to tell you to tell me you're sorry. I want, when we had all this hoopla, when I lay down in the bed and I'm still feeling some kind of way, but without any necessary coaching, you apologize.
And no requiring me to give anything back.
Right.
She did say she appreciated thank you so much. She
She
said
said,
something.
"You're welcome."
Yeah.
After he said thank you.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, like, literally, and ain't no telling how much time or hours have passed in the movie, but it's like 1 a.m, I think, when they get home. So we're assuming at least 2, 3, maybe 4 hours have passed amongst them doing this. So out of all that,
4-hour argument.
yeah,
And that's the first time you can breathe. The first time that they can breathe, actually. It's short-lived, but it's kind of short-lived. Let me rephrase that. But you can appreciate the resolution. And that, to me, that goes not to this level, clients or interns, but it goes to show that sometimes you are going to have to stick it out
and
to get
weather
to your
the storm.
resolution.
Yeah.
It's not always going to be pretty. Too many times we had this fairy tale view of what love looked like, and that goes for men and women, because they will definitely think of the Susie Homemaker trope. Ain't nobody out
Stepford.
here. Yeah, Stepford.
That you ready? You were freaking the sheets. You gonna get in there and cook a full 3-course meal every day?
I don't know who said this. I was watching something on YouTube, and I apologize for not having the person's information, but they said, if you want a Stepford wife, are you a Stepford husband? Are you out here working from sun up to sundown? Are you providing every single thing that this person needs? Not just the money, the status. Are you providing the emotional safety? Are you providing all these different things? Because people forget that. Yeah, they grew up as not as emotionally expressive, or the silent generation or whatever, but that type of relationship is something totally different than what that looks like now. And so if you really want that in your life, then you need to be that type of dude or that type of woman or that whatever. And I don't think people really realize that.
I don't even think it's a thing. I know they don't. Because people expect things from other people that they're not even willing to give themselves. So how you going to expect that of me?
Right.
It's just too much
It
pressure.
don't make no sense. I've had dudes tell me that they expect, if they in a relationship with me, expect me to cook every night. I said, well, how are we going to do that? Because I don't get off until 6. Are you going to chop the food up before I get there? Are you going to do all the grocery shopping? Because I work. I'm an entrepreneur of 3 to 4 businesses right now.
Right.
You will be eating at 10 p.m.
And if that's
every
cool
day
with you, then that's cool.
Right.
But also realize you better be giving me as good as I'm giving you.
Right.
Because I require a lot.
Right.
If you're going to require that much of me. Right. I ain't got no problem giving it. Tell me your order. But make sure you refilling
right,
just like I got to refill you.
Right.
And I think that's
Absolutely.
what people don't realize. They don't really want to put in that work that they saying that they want from somebody.
And the thing is, because a lot of people think it's just one area. I just need to provide financially. No, 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 no. I need you
That's
to
like the bare minimum.
Exactly.
That's the standard.
That's a low standard.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
your standards are your bare minimum.
Yeah.
They're not your expectation.
Right.
You know, people got to realize, like, I think this is what you was about to say, Dr. Jones. You know, you got to provide financially. You got to provide spiritually, emotionally, leadership.
Physically.
Don't tell me you need me to be submissive, but you don't know how to lead.
Right. Because you're not leading me into the hood. I'm sorry. I
done
don't
that.
live there now. And I have never. So ain't nothing wrong with it if that's where you live. But I'm just saying, you're not.
Yeah.
It's
There's so many.
reciprocity.
Yeah. Well, like you said, there's so many extra things. It's not just one. And a lot of people do default to financial. They think that that's really what a quality partner is.
A high value man.
Oh God, this whole thing about high value.
God.
It's like
Please.
that's
If that's all you got, you ain't got a lot.
Right.
because I'm like, that is, first of all, anybody can meet somebody that makes a lot of money. If you know how to maneuver in certain circles, that's like the most easiest thing. And it's the, again, bare minimum. Financial support is the bare minimum. 99% of adults work. Maybe not 99, okay, but you guys get the
It's
example.
a big percentage.
You get the example.
Yeah.
Most adults work. So again, like, you're going to be providing financially regardless of whether I'm here. So why is that even the standard?
Yeah.
That's not to say that you don't need to, you know,
But see,
have a
y'all-
budget or protect
Right.
your money. We're not saying that.
Because
But
we got to
also-
go back to our hierarchy of needs, because you still want to be able to be secure
Right.
in that. But still, that's
But
a
I also think
foundational
y'all have
need.
to understand too that we, just like some other women as well. I'm not saying we're the only three, but you have to we see it from a different lens because we make our own money. So you bring your money to me, that ain't doing nothing.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I know for me personally, I don't mind a more traditional role because I don't want to have to always be Dr. Wall. Y'all have heard me say that before.
Yeah.
And I think we all got that in us. I'm
Yeah.
not saying. But if you are leading with your pocket, we going to have a
Right.
problem because then it's like the alpha in you is,
Right.
is igniting the alpha in me, and now you getting a different type of energy. And if you want me to be soft and sweet and feminine and not my masculine energy eviscerate yours, that's not how you gonna get me.
Well, because it requires me to be an alpha in everything else.
Right.
If you're only an alpha in finances,
That part.
then I have to be the decision, because if the point is you're only bringing finances, then I have to be the alpha in what we're going to eat, where we're going to go, where we're going to live, how the bills get paid, you know, how the children are going to be raised, the discipline, what our social circle is going to look like, you know what I'm saying?
What
There's
you wearing.
what you're wearing, what I'm wearing, what they're wearing. Okay, whose family are we going to visit for the holidays? Like, I have to be alpha in every other capacity.
All
So
you
then I-
gotta do is work.
So then I lose what I feel like I'm losing my femininity.
You won't allow me to be her. You killed her.
So much. See, these are things that people don't realize when they get into relationships, which, to throw it back to the movie, is stuff that they would need a therapist to help them work through.
Yeah.
You know, that there's so many dynamics happening between the two of them that they didn't realize, because it sounds like they were very young when they got together. I think she
They've
was
been together
20.
for a minute, yeah.
But they don't really reference how old they are now. But it seems like they've been together for quite some time. And, you know, these are things that you would hope over the years that you're together that you start to understand and find a better balance with one another. But for some couples, it is going to take a intervention. You're going to need someone outside of your system to help both of you see the error in what you're doing to each other and to yourselves within that system.
And then you have to understand also that not only do you all already have the toxicity of what's already going on, you don't stop aging. And like, I think we've said this on a different session before. when you're in a relationship, or even when you're single, we are always evolving.
Mm-hmm.
And we change, I'll say, about every 4.5 to maybe 5 years. And so as you compile all of the stuff that's already there, and then you're still changing, you need a therapist to help y'all to decipher what these changes are, what they look like individually, and what they are going, how they're going to affect the relationship in the future.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was...
Well, we can't forget, because we didn't say this part. So they go to bed,
Oh, yeah.
and then they wake up, but the only person that we see in this scene is Malcolm, and we're like, oh Lord, where's Marie? You know, she like to do the disappearing act. So at this point, I'm like, oh, she done packed her stuff, she gone. But we then find out that no, she's literally probably overlooking. She's on top of a mountain, overlooking whatever is below them or whatever. But he runs through the house. He's searching for, calling her again.
Mm-hmm.
This time I don't think she actually heard him because of the distance or whatever, but he ends up walking up to her, and that's how the movie ends.
Yeah.
A cliffhanger, literally.
That's cute.
I like that. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I thought it was a beautiful film.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it definitely was. You're either we're gonna love it or hate it. But I thought it was great, you know, for what it was trying to deliver.
Yeah.
I think it executed that really well. If you are not I think if you're not really an artsy fartsy type of person, or you don't like to introspect a lot, or
Which means think.
yes, because this movie is very meta.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, so if you don't like those types of movies that are not, there's no flash to it, you know, you really got to sit and pay attention and think and consider what's really going on in the dynamics and how things are playing out. If you like a movie that's straightforward, then this is not going to be the film for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Now, something we've been considering is actually giving it a rating at the end. So y'all kind of let us know if that's something that you want to do going forward. We think it would be cool, but if it's not something that y'all want to see, we'll leave it out, you know.
mhm. And if y'all are interested in a rating, do you want like an overall rating of the film in general? Are there certain things that you guys would like us to rate, you know, like quality versus how they resolved the issue, you know, like kind of how the thing played out? Like there's certain things that you think that we could break down even more, you know, let us know.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, until next time.
Must be this volume control.
So, okay, interns, process your notes. Be sure to catch us next session and find us on all major platforms at The Recycled Podcast.
If you're a new intern, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Thanks for listening. And remember, we are shifting and reshaping our psyche through healing conversations and connections, one discussion at a time.